we're here today with Jonathan Goodman with Frascona, Joyner, Goodman, and Greenstein. And as always, John, it's a pleasure to have you here on Broker IPTV.
Thank you, Mark.
And one of the subjects I had called you up to talk about, we've all heard a lot of things about foreclosures, and what I'm really seeing a lot of as a broker is short sale transactions or short payoff transactions. And I know all the brokers have heard about them, but maybe you can explain to us really what is a short payoff from legal lingo. What's a short payoff transaction?
Right. Well, the concept of a short payoff transaction is that a property has mortgages against it, and the amount of those mortgages exceeds the property's value. There are some sellers who, when that property sells, they can bring money to the table to make up the shortfall, but very few. And lenders recognize that sometimes it's in their best interest to take less than they're owed and still release the liens off the property. So that's what a short payoff is.
So what do you think, what's the real reason lenders are doing this? I mean, ultimately, what are we getting at here?
Lenders do these things because they figure it's their best bad alternative. Of course, they have the option of foreclosing on the property, paying a lawyer, waiting the 4 or 5 months or so process while it goes through the foreclosure, then holding it, having holding costs, selling it to the market. But it's a way for a lender to cut its losses and get cash now. The idea is it's better to take your first loss early, take less now, save a bigger loss later.
So let's talk about the next item here that is coming up with short sales, and that's the short sale promoters. The promoters that are out there saying that they can close your short sale transactions, they can bring investors in, they use land trusts. Why don't you explain to us how that works?
Okay, there's two things that are going on. One thing that's going on is that traditionally a lot of the hard work putting a short sale together has been performed by the listing broker for the seller. And there are service providers out there that are holding themselves out as short sale experts, and they try and relieve the listing broker of the chores, the hassle, the brain damage of putting the short payoffs together. They have contacts with the lenders and the like, and they offload that stress from the listing broker. So I would call them short sale service providers. But then there's another phenomenon which is more novel, and that is there are promoters of short sale transactions that are setting them up as two-stage transactions. So the way it works, in my lingo, there is a homeowner, a seller A, the promoter is B, and B puts a property under contract with A at a certain price, let's say $200,000. And what B is trying to do, two things at once. One of the things they're trying to do is try and get A's lender to accept the proceeds from that $200,000 sale in satisfaction of the debt. Simultaneously, B is trying to find a buyer, I'll call them the ultimate buyer, or C, to flip the property to. And the idea is that B doesn't actually close and take title to the property from A until B finds a C. When B finds a C, the money comes in from C, and it funds B's acquisition of the property from A. So if B buys from A for $200,000, then B tries to find C to buy it for $230,000, and B gets that $30,000 markup.
Wow. So not that there were a lot of advantages for the seller to begin with on a short sale transaction. What are the pitfalls for a seller in this circumstance?
Well, one pitfall for the seller in this circumstance is that if B is finding C who will pay $230,000, what it means is that really if B had been working with A, working for A, then B could have found C for A to sell for $230,000. The point is that A, the homeowner, is losing out on a sale for $230,000. Now, even if the property sells for $230,000, the A wouldn't get anything from that sale, right? I mean, that's the essence of a short sale transaction. The seller doesn't net anything from the sale. However, that $30,000 extra would reduce the lender's losses and therefore reduce the seller's post-closing deficiency liability and potentially reduce their forgiveness of indebtedness tax consequences.
All right, so then on the other side, what are the pitfalls for the investor, the promoter, the B buyer, B seller?
There are several pitfalls. First of all, there's a lot of people out there, including regulators, who don't like these transactions. They feel like A is being ripped off. A isn't realizing the full value of the sale of the property. If the market will pay $230,000, A should realize the benefits of that. There's also people who think that A's lenders are being misled, that they're being ripped off by $30,000. There's also people who think that C's lenders are being misled because lenders are skeptical of flip transactions and instant appreciation and the like. So if these things go bad, if for some reason this transaction, if somebody's unhappy in this transaction or it shows up on the radar screen of regulators, people are going to be pointing the fingers of blame at the promoters, B.
So what happens when you have, I've seen a lot of these seminars where they're actually recruiting brokers to recruit other brokers for their promoter to talk to the A's of the world.
Right. I advise my real estate broker clients that they do not want to be the listing broker for A. If you're a broker for A, you have duties to A, and A isn't selling the property for as much as the market will pay. That's proven by this transaction. It's proven that the market will pay, in my example, $230, and A isn't reaping the benefit of that. So if I'm a real estate broker, or if I'm advising a real estate broker, I say you don't want to be the listing broker for A. I'm also saying to real estate brokers, you don't want to be the buyer's agent for B. Because even if you're a buyer's agent for B, you have certain duties to the seller. You have the duty to disclose adverse material facts of which you're aware. And I think the fact that B is flipping it for a $30,000 profit is arguably something that has to be revealed to A. What I advise real estate brokers are, if you're going to be involved in these things at all, you want to be as far away from A as possible. And what that means is being the listing broker for B, trying to find the C, or there's nothing wrong with being the buyer's agent for C, trying to buy it from B.
Wow. Right. So, I mean, in a quick sentence or two, what is the right way? What's full disclosure? I know we've talked about fraud where it has to be in the contract, has to be in the HUD, has to be disclosed to the broker. I mean, are they same type of guidelines that have to be followed?
Yes, essentially. I mean, in order for A not to be defrauded, if A signs off on paperwork that says B's goal is to get this under contract and not close until B finds a C, and B will sell it to C at a markup, and B will pocket that markup, then A is making a choice. You know, the A's of the world are also making choosing the best bad option that they've got. You know, the A's of the world are choosing between just abandoning the house, letting it go into foreclosure, deeds in lieu of foreclosure, or short payoff. And a two-stage short payoff may be the best bad option that they have. So A has to fully understand what's going on.
Oh, okay. Well, great, John.
Okay.
As always, a pleasure.
Thank you,
very
Mark.
much.